how do you address the affordability challenge right now going into 2028? Both parties have to address the affordability issue, right? Midterms is around the corner. With midterms being around the corner, we're 12 months away from the midterms. This is where we are. I want to say Kalshi Kalshi is saying, give or take, I want to say it's Kalshi that said this, that 70% likelihood that the Democrats are going to win the midterms next year. It's going to be a plus minus more Democrats than it is going to be with Republicans. That's what the numbers are at. It could change right now where it's at, but the last time I saw it was at 70%. So if it's going right now, yeah, there you go. 72% Kalshi has Democrats winning versus, and by the way, the closest it got was when? A couple of weeks ago. What was the number? 55, 50. Okay. But it's pretty much Democrats. All right. So you guys are consultants to both political parties. They want to find out, how do you fix the affordability issue? How do you do it, Jeff?
Well, one thing you got to stop doing is to make the same mistake that politicians have been making since the pandemic hit, and really going back further than that, is to say the economy is booming. This sucker's great. Just look at the stock market. That just pisses people off more than anything else. You want to know why there's a socialist as mayor of New York City? That's why. Because people don't have jobs. They don't have enough income to pay for things. And here you are telling them how great everything is. Well, if this is great, sign me up for socialism. That's one thing you got to stop. We got to stop saying the economy is booming. And this tracks with political parties all over the planet. You look at countries around the rest of the world. You look at Germany. Germany just changed governments. It's already incredibly unpopular because they said, well, we're going to do this major fiscal spending push. We'll call it a bazooka. Massive, huge $500 billion fiscal stimulus. Not going to do anything. It's all theater. You got to stop with the theater and start attacking the Band-Aids.
Give me two more.
Two more.
Give me, so it's three ways to do it. You're the consultant, I'm the government.
Start being honest.
Okay, start being honest, which is going to be hard, but what's the next one?
The next thing is to get the hell out of the way of the private economy. We have way too much government interference. One of the biggest problems that we've had since 2008 to 2009, what they call nowadays fiscal dominance, it's simply that every time the economy stumbles, what happens? We need a stimulus package. We need the government to come in and do tax cuts and massive spending.
TARP, we'll fix it.
That's where it started. That unleashed the debt monster. And that's what we need to. We need to stop government creeping into every aspect of not just economic life, but the bigger the government gets, the more it gets involved into your social life too. So we need the government to get the hell out of the way of the private sector and stop thinking that it's going to fix every problem with this law or this Band-Aid or that Band-Aid. We actually need the government to do what it was supposed to do when it came into office and say, get the hell out of the way.
Well, I mean, it looks like what could be happening here is it could be that they want to take the interest rates back to zero, lowering it, which we talked about it off camera when Tom was talking about every time they lower the rates to zero, and it stays at that for 2 quarters, the whole quantitative easing, if you keep it at 2 quarters, seniors who are reliant on the money that they're getting as interest rate cost them $70 billion. So for instance, if I got $2 million in an account and I'm 72 years old and I'm getting 4% income off of that, I'm just making up a number here, 2 million, 4%, 80 grand every year. Babe, we're not tapping to our savings. We're just living off the interest. 2 million, 80 grand a year. As long as their lifestyle is $6,600 a month, we're going to be okay. We're going to be, oh, that's perfect, babe. And then they do quantitative easing. And then they go to zero. And then that 4% that was giving me 80 grand a year now goes to zero. I'm getting zero. So now my 2 million becomes 1.92. Well, my 9.2 becomes 1.84. Then, you know, and the next thing you know, he took $70 billion away, $71 billion away, give or take, from the seniors. But Tom, going back to you, how do you fix the affordability issue?
Okay, I like what he said. He said, number one, messaging with truth. Number two, theater, when you fake it. Number three, get out of the way, you know, on regulation. Those are more broad. Let me go more narrow so that we kind of complement each other here. Right now, the Americans are feeling a pinch for 2 simple reasons. Inflation jumped under Biden because he printed all the money, number one. And those prices never came back down, especially cost of housing. What can you do to help right now? I believe what I'm seeing in the labor market and things, the Fed, who's been looking at these figures and right now doing a head fake on people. And by the way, I looked it up today on some of the markets, the Kalshi market today. It says it's only 50-50 to even get a 0.25 cut. And by the way, economists, the CME Watch Group, just go to CME Watch, Fed Watch. Yep, CME Watch tool. Take a look at this. These are everybody listening, watching the Fed. They're at 50-50. They only believe there's a 50% chance of a 0.25 cut by Powell in December. There needs to be a half a rate cut and then hold and let that help people. Also, you know who that helps? That helps Estados Unidos, who has a great big giant refi of T-bills coming in the first quarter, end of first quarter, I believe. Mm-hmm. It's a giant stack of T-bills have to refi in the first quarter. If you move the interest rate down, now Trump's government budget can refi those at a more moderated rate. Now, let's go to the consumer. Power and food. What he just did is taking off the tariffs on fruit products, fresh fruit, and some things last week. Very important, very important. Now he's got to go to protein, chicken, pork, and beef. You got to figure out how we help those prices come down for the consumer. And the next one is power. Right now, data centers, I'm going to get pissed off. Data centers are being built not with profits, but with bonds. I looked at it last night. I was up till 1 a.m. and I realized just how much of this data center build out is being bonds. And they said, oh, we're making so much money on this and so much money AI services. They are, but they're doing it. And what they're doing is they're creating excess demand for a limited supply of electricity. So the price is going up. You take a simple stroke of the pen. All it takes is Trump to do this. Part of your bond has to be a 2-year subsidy on the excess electricity that you're using so that the communities that are getting the benefit of jobs, there's a few jobs for construction and people that will actually work at the data centers, that their local electricity prices don't go up. But don't do it as a government subsidy. Don't do it as a tax credit. Say, look, you want to build the data center? Then you either have to do what Google did and what Oracle did, where they build the small nukes. You know, they got the permits for the small nukes right next to the data center. So that's Google and Oracle saying, well, I'll just build my own power right here because there's not enough power for me to buy, and I'm going to build my data center. The other way, I build a data center, power's right over there. Fantastic. Chesapeake will give me the power. I think Chesapeake operates 3 Mile Island. Right now, how much percent of their Chesapeake's output for the restarted 3 Mile Island has Microsoft bought for the next 5 years? 100%. Yeah. They're buying 100% of the output of the 3 Mile Island power plant. Microsoft is doing it. So, food, electricity, and interest rates right now, and interest rates will help the credit card balances, but the power would be very simple, saying, hey, if you're building these data centers, you either have to build your own power or you need, as part of the bonds, you need to do a 2-year prepay.
I got you. Brandon, how about you?
All right, so easy. You got to create a national gold rush around the idea of building homes. Like, I don't want to hear anything about the 50-year mortgage or the portable mortgages or anything like that. Like, cut taxes to zero for home builders. Subsidize people who want to do it, create incentive programs where you can apply for a low-interest government loan to build a home, and then you don't get taxed on it once you sell it. But these homes have to be protected from the acquisition of companies like Blackstone and BlackRock, because that's another thing pushing the price up. So I don't want to go all, communist or whatever and say you can't buy houses, but the new houses, like from this point on, like maybe for the next 5 years under this program, can't be bought by a company because there's like a 4 million home shortage in America for these type of homes. Cut zoning laws, remove regulations around lumber. Like we have the second most lumber of any country in the world, and we have a lumber shortage somehow for building homes. And then we only produce 2% of the world's cement. So the government couldn't invest and subsidize in companies that want to become a cement company. It costs $500 million to become a cement company. We used to produce 80% of the world's cement. Now today it's 2%. China produces 50%. So that's for housing. And then I would say for food, why not invest in stuff like vertical farming and not be so reliant on the traditional farms? Why not subsidize the ranchers who are getting crushed by the big 4 beef companies, and investigate these big 4 beef companies who are kind of sketchy, by the way. I think 2 of them aren't even domestic companies, so they lowball the hell out of these ranchers, and that's why there's such a shrinking supply of beef.
If you got big plans for 2026. I am telling you right now, I can't tell you how many conversations we're having about business planning. There's a reason why we went less than 22 hours to Dallas and come back, because we want to see exactly what's happening with 2026. We're planning for our family, for our businesses, ourselves. And if 2026 is a big year for you as well, I want you to watch this clip. Rob, can you go to the clip with the Jenga to show them what happens when it comes onto business plan and how all of these things are necessary? Go ahead, Rob.
Business is a lot like Jenga. Every piece matters. You need a vision. Do this carefully. You need capital. You definitely need capital. Put this here. Ooh, listen, hanging on one piece here, by the way. You need the right team, for sure.
This almost fell off, by the way.
You need sales. As good as this looks, if your foundation isn't built on a good business plan, you know what happens? The whole thing crumbles. If you have big plans for 2026, on December 12th, I'm hosting an event called the Business Planning Workshop, where all day we go through the 12 building blocks of writing an effective business plan. So this doesn't happen to you. If you haven't get registered, click on the link below. Let's spend an entire day together on December 12th. Looking forward to seeing you there.
Folks, click on the link below, get registered. You can watch it with your friends, family, and this is going to be people watching this from 100 plus countries, and you can find a way to just get registered at the lowest level, or you can find a way to be on the screen so everybody can see each other, and at the end we'll do a Q&A for 90 minutes. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here, and if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.